BIDI. Shantinilaya Lifehouse, Spain, July 30, 2020. Well, BIDI is with you and they sends you his regards. I've come to listen to your questions. First of all, let's have a moment of silence. Silence. We're listening to the first question. Sister, we'll live the event in our sack of flesh, through it, but those who have died, how will they live it without flesh? In the same way, the commander of the elders had stipulated to you that since the liberation of the earth, of the crystalline core of the earth in October 2011, all the souls who leave this plane are intercepted at the level of what you call the astral, high or higher, and placed in stasis in white paradise, to await the event. There's no need for bodies for those who have left their bodies, but it is essential that all humans are in the orbit of this planet, in the environment of this planet, to assist and live the great fusion or the great dissolution as well. No one will be able to escape from the truth. No one will be able to escape from joy and freedom, whether you are in this body or in your body of eternity. For those who have passed away after 2011, some have had the opportunity to reincarnate to live the scene. There's no difference in that transubstantiation is equally about the vehicle of eternity, which will also be consumed by cosmic fire, ending the dream and myth of creation. It is the return to home, to felicity, to infinite peace and to the one truth, absolute and no longer relative. There's no need to worry about anything, just be in tranquility and you will be more and more in joy. Do not listen to your emotions, let them pass through you. Do not listen to your head, be quiet, in silence if possible, at least for a few moments each day, to let the truth emerge, and which does not concern you in any way. It is as simple as that. It is something extremely easy, but it may seem complicated if you're too carried away by your emotions, by your reactions, by your habits, by routine, and by behaviors that you have not clearly seen. The only way to see what you have not seen, inside and outside of you, depends on one thing only, on your ability to remain tranquil no matter what is going on inside you. This is the only space of resolution that will work immediately, regardless of the person's inconvenience or problem. It is a quick learning of staying tranquil, and of the great silence, which is not the silence of words, which will become it, but which is already the absence of exaggerated reactions to the masquerade of this world at this time. As soon as you have understood while living it that the only resolution is this to remain tranquil, you will very quickly grasp the back and forth movements between the person on that stage and that truth that you are. That is to say that there has never been any theater. It is the perfect superposition of dream and truth that is the solution. This is achieved, as has been said, through the unconditional acceptance and acceptance of what is. From the moment you do not want to change anything of what is, you discover freedom, without effort, without practice, without prayer, without meditation, in the very heart of the character's consciousness. At that moment, what may still seem to you at this difficult time, will appear to you as really laughable in front of the absence of logic, in front of what I call the great anything. This is exactly the situation on Earth. Everything that is happening cannot be changed, but can be seen from two sides. From the person, its suffering. From the point of view of the self or the absolute, it is both pathetic and laughable. There's no longer any logic, there's no direction in the behavior of humanity. The kick has been given in the angel, destructuring the logic of society, the very logic of the mind. Everything is going to seem more and more logical, devoid of reason, devoid of purpose, so that you naturally let go of any adherence to this theater scene, to your character, to your story, in order to laugh at yourselves, at what we have written. This is a great cosmic farce. And even though your first reaction to the revelations may be a sense of horror and disgust, if you stay quiet, you will be in a burst of laughter. Dying laughing is the reality. If you cry today, if you suffer today from anything, you will laugh and laughter will be the resolution to this farce. Chaos will show you the inordinate pretense of wanting to organize, direct, control and constrain life. Life is only to be lived, it does not have to be directed, it does not have to be controlled, it simply has to be passed through, for the light is here. Crying will be replaced by laughter, and laughter will be the resolution. Remember that what makes you cry, what makes you suffer or disgusts you today, will clearly appear to you as a joke. Creation is a farce, pleasant at the beginning, and nightmarish at the end. Your safe conduct is the natural state, the state of simplicity of childhood, the state of indifference, which is not, on the contrary, a lack of love but the fullness of love. All that is promised to you, Some of you are already living it and are happily participating in the theater scene or in video games, because it is fun. If you do not see and do not live this hilarious side, I invite you to drop everything you think is serious, because nothing is serious in the dream. Everything is just passing by, and what is passing by is not true. The quieter you remain, whether it is in the self, whether it is in the character, whether it is in the absolute, you have come to witness the show and the awakening, no longer individual but concerning the one consciousness. It is the awakening of the consciousness that discovers itself as the agent of the dream, the creator of the dream and the participant in the dream. You will no longer be fooled by your consciousness, and you will place yourselves in the laughter and smile of the pure Brahman, of the Absolute. When I was incarnate, and when my wife when she died, I sang and danced around her bed, because she was free. There's no death, there's death of the person, there's death of the form, but you're none of that, and yet you're all of that. It is the superimposition of all the temporal, dimensional, spatial lines in the same point that contains all the other points. Living is a great joy. As I said, it is not a loss, quite the contrary, it is freedom, the joy without object and the frank and spontaneous laughter of the baby that we make burst out laughing. It's totally superimposable. All your terrors, all your beliefs will be magnified and erased by joy, simply. It may seem paradoxical, but it has been said over and over again, chaos breeds joy. It is not the joy of some destruction, but the cessation of the dream. So I know the commander, just before me, told you that program, but I'm telling you what you're going to be like. Whatever the state of the person, it can be confusing at first, to find that you can only laugh at these ultimate attachments to the character. The reaction will be common at some point and the burst of laughter signals the end of the dream. The relief, even before the event is completed, will show you this. You will then grasp that it is the common dream, the dream of a society of all communities of humans, even for the noblest purpose, is a farce. There's no one and you will live it. It is in the sense that you will laugh at yourselves, at your misunderstandings, at your fears, at your habits, at all your spiritual stories and at all your experiences which will appear quite bland in the face of the absolute truth. This is happening as we speak. You know very well that there is no date, but that you're in the date phase. Each day is a date, each day will wake you up a little more. You will no longer be able to fall asleep, you will no longer be able to feel fear, and at that time, for many of you, you will begin to establish yourselves in vacuity and grace. The more you cry today, or the more you suffer today, the greater your joy will be, and the greater the true freedom will be. You will discover that you have never been born, that you have always been there, even before creation, even before consciousness, and that all this has been a dream that we have decided to live, for no purpose and no interest, except to have fun. It is in the sense that the tragedy aspects will be experienced as comic, really and concretely. All you have to do is to do as much as possible nothing, to be lucid, what I called 8 years ago the observer, who sees the theater stage, who sees the illusion of his own body, and everything related to the illusion of the dream. There will be no more duality, there will be no more confrontation, there will be no more doubt, all this will be replaced by a great burst of laughter. In the same way as during my passage on this earth, those who have been able to see me in your images, have observed that even when I was sick and weak, I was even more in the smile, because frankly you can only laugh at this masquerade, this simulacrum. It is a game, certainly morbid, but it is only a game. You will experience at times or permanently, what some of you are already living, this feeling of emptiness and fullness together. Where there is no energy, no form, no consciousness, no entity, no world. And that is frankly laughable. Another question. Sister, the last will be the first, wouldn't it be the organic portals? There you go, Lel, since they have no souls. They don't count. Now we have to translate. The first and the last are about the true humans, not the portals. On the other hand, the first will be the last simply means that during the great burst of laughter, it is the first or the oldest of the liberation of this cycle since 2012, who will be, in a way, the animators of the joy, of the great joy. They will be the last, but not in order of precedence or priority, but being the first to have lived through the descent of the Spirit in 1984, they are, in a way, the oldest, the leaders in the orchestra of the feast. This does not mean that they will be late, neither behind nor in front, but that they will be the round that will establish quiet paradise of the event. The first ones will be the last in that sense, for the final prank. Besides, some of you, a few of you, have decided to leave your bodies, through illness, through an accident, to prepare to feast with the other dreamers of the Intergalactic Confederation of Free Worlds. The celestial banquet will be a grandiose spectacle where you will applaud, after crying, when you understand that you have nothing to lose, that any loss is illusory, even of this body. For those who are awake, they will simply be the animators of the feast. And that's all there is to it. Remember that as long as you think you can or should change something to what is, you suffer. You have no choice but to really let go of what you think you care about, what in fact you care about. So is society, so are the carnal bonds, so are all the memberships and your agreement that you give, to a political party, to a football club as you say, or to a family, or to a group. All this will be swept away and you will really discover then, that you have always been there, that you have always been free, but that you have dreamed. I talked for a long time in 2012 about the different consciences. I will not go back over it, because the subdivision of consciousness into unconscious, subconscious, conscious, superconscious and the conscious, are just facets of the same diamond. There's no separation, there's no partition other than the one pedagogically given by the elders, the stars and the archangels. Silence. The resolution of the farce, of the dream, will give you to perceive, beyond all forms and energies, the pure beatitude of Shantinilaya, of the abode of supreme peace, of the fusion of being and non-being, of the fusion of worlds, of the dissolution of the soul, and of all forms. Only the consciousness worries, but as I tell you, the consciousness will be seen for what it is, the creator of the dream, the creator of the form and the creators of worlds, through the first dreamers and their so-called feminine polarity, which were the genetic mothers. Attending this revelation, very shortly before the event, you will find that even your tears will become a smile. We all know the laughter and the spasmodic crying of the child, who is capable of laughing and crying at the same time, and there you will cry laughing at all these dreams, all these sufferings, all these feelings of loss, all these feelings of incompleteness, of searching for the other through the couple, through the bonds of friendship, family bonds, professional bonds. All this will make you smile, because it will be seen as a total aberration. You will no longer be able to hide behind the slightest model, the slightest frame of reference, and it is precisely when you no longer have a reference point, when you no longer have any possible orientation or any possible movement outside of what is, that laughter will be triggered. And the laughter will be consuming, and this consummation will be completed by the visibility and the living experience of the event, whatever it is. At the time, it will indeed be a grave feast. You who wake today, you who wonder today, will be the most eager for this joy, this freedom and this laughter. Nothing is serious except conscience, and seriousness prevents freedom, prevents waking up. No human logic will be able to maintain itself, no structure will be able to maintain itself. You will consume with joy by your own laughter the last elements of the dream, of the common dream as well as your individual dream. These are therefore moments of great rejoicing which are strictly and diametrically opposed to the masquerade you are living. You will laugh at your fears, and that is what will heal you and all of us, wherever we are, whatever dream we have traversed or are traversing, from this dimension to the most ethereal dimension. I used to tell those who had access to the entities of light in my lifetime to drop that to be free. Today, I am telling you all the same thing. Stop feeding all the egregores of the past, all the mechanisms of functioning. As has been said, be available for what is still unknown to some, but will be evident. You will see while living that the fear concerns only the person and the play of consciousness. Nothing more. What you cannot assimilate today, when I tell you that creation is a farce, will be accessible to you and you will have no choice but to abandon all masks, all pretensions, all roles, all claims to anything. It is by immersing yourself in the zero time of the present instant that escape and grace, and the natural state, become your daily life, no matter what your body says, no matter what your close environment says and no matter what society says, because you will no longer be fooled by anything, neither by yourselves, nor by your thoughts, nor by your history. This is what is going to happen, I would even say right now. If you let go of any idea of being a person, the laughter will be there. I invite you to check it because it will help you wake up, and everyone will wake up. The war of all against all, prophesied by all visionaries and prophets, is a space of resolution that will make you lay down your arms of all claims, to discover nothing and everything, assures you the laughter and the smile. And the more it will seem to you to be destabilized at this time by all that is going to be on the stage of the world, in these times that you're living, will make you laugh, because really the situation of the earth has no tail ahead, no direction or logic. All of this is totally insane. This is how the dream ends in a total nightmare, but that will be your safe conduct. Concretely, accept what is, as Allah has been developing for so long, and you're free, truly and concretely, even before the event. Then you'll be able to play video games, because you know and live that it's a video game, really. You can expose the truth, you can talk, but you will remain, above all, in the smile of the evidence. What would appear to be madness even today in the face of the seriousness of consciousness, will show you that there is nothing serious, because there is nothing real in what is going on. What passes is destined to pass away and not to remain. Only the naked and absolute truth of what you have always been will remain, whatever the dreams of the consciousness, whatever the scenarios and scripts that you have lived, whatever you have written, whatever we have all written, cut. So that's fine, let's go back and change the question anyway. Elisa reads a question in Spanish. You have the right to react to what I say and to give your views. You have every right to disagree. And I'll be happy to replace it with a smile on your face. Elisa, I have a testimony. So let's hear it. Hermano, primero que nada BIDI, gracias por todas estas señas de eliminación. Don't forget to stop between each sentence for the translation. Laughter in the room. Elisa, grace BIDI. Brother, let's start again, for all these years of enlightenment. I have a testimony for the people who suffer in their lives. I went through what was for me the greatest suffering at the time by embracing the end of what the character was holding. That is to say, life, work, family, couple, money, health. All of it. Brother, health and the tsunami has allowed me to end the character. I used your message, I'm not this body, I'm not these stories. I don't agree with what? Laughter in the room. Brother, I'm not this body, I'm not these stories. I'm the truth, I'm the absolute, I'm liberated. Look at the head of a liberated one and look at the head of a stuck one. There's no picture no matter how old you are or how you look. The liberator has a fresh complexion, he smiles blissfully all the time. Laughter. This does not prevent him from living his life, but the liberated one really lives things lightly, because he has lived that nothing was serious and nothing was true. And paradoxically, this makes you even more present, more lucid and more able to carry out what you have to carry out. The fluidity of the unit, the synchronicities, the hypersynchronicities are the daily lot of the liberated one. Can you confirm? Brother, absolutely. If, then give them an example. Brother, well, then. Laughter. Brother, having crossed the light and without stopping, indeed behind, the absolute. In this absolute, the shock, and that life is not in the form nor in the light. And that we are for a moment really everywhere, without form, in this complete beatitude, and I would dare to say for a great indifference of any form in all that happens, letting life live. And paradoxically you can perhaps confirm, when there is nothing serious, everything becomes easy. Brother, that's exactly what happened, everything was resolved. Everything is solved for the liberated one. Laughter. It's all laughter and smiles. This is what I have said over and over again, when I see that I am nothing, brother, yes, but it's true. Laughter. It's love, laughter. When I see that I am everything, it is wisdom, and when I reunite love wisdom, it is the child who laughs. Go on. Brother. Yes, that's it, it's done. Sister. No, that's not all, because in fact the testimony continues, but it is so subtle that it does not go through words, so for those who are at a distance, well I don't know how it will happen, perhaps Elisa will be able to put in a little bit of words. Brother, I'll leave you, dog barks and people in the room burst out laughing. Sister, actually, I'm passing the pen. Laughter. Sister, there you go. One of the freedmen seems to have smoked the carpet. Laughter. Sister, there you go. From the point of view of the person. When you're released, your zygomatics are trapped in the open position. Zygomatics are the muscles that make you smile. You're stuck in the smile position. To smile. Can you confirm? Brother. Yes. At the end of the translation, people laugh. There's nothing more contagious and contaminating than a liberate. It's a super contaminant, the exact opposite of your virus here. Laughter is therapeutic, it is healing, and some people have understood this by doing laughter yoga or by amusing the gallery. For example, when you laugh, you are in the present. When you're stuck, the zygomatics closed. Laughter at the end of the translation, you're either in the past or the future. Laughter. Abby told you about the global pandemic, not the viral pandemic, but the epidemic of laughter. Laugh at yourselves. And you're free, don't be stuck. Laughter. Discussion in Spanish in the room. I'm talking about the laughter. I'm not even talking about the naked joy. I'm talking about that simple laugh of being alive in the dream. Everything is easy, you can only see it, so please keep the smile on your lips at all times and you'll contaminate all the stuck ones. Don't hold anything back, let go of everything and let go. There's no point in being constipated. There's no point in, how do you say, making a face. When you manage to laugh at yourself and everything, it's proof that you're free. You can't be free and be serious, it's antinomic. Laughter at the end of the translation. See, you're contaminated. Noises in the room. Even crystals and objects fall out. Big laughter. Let's go. Elisa, when you come out of creation, what do? You become a creator. We don't do anything. We don't create anything anymore. We stop dreaming. You're home. What do you want to create that hasn't already been created? Nothing. It's another illusion of consciousness. Laughs. Who hasn't seen himself? Laughter. What you don't know is that your laughter there is, not audible, but transmitted to the whole universe. Laughter. The more you're free, the more you contaminate the stuck ones. Laughter. You don't need speeches, you don't need explanation, you don't need demonstration, you are the catalyst, you do nothing and everything is done. That is the pandemic of love, that is the agate pandemic. When laughter will be more important in everyone than making a face as you say, you know very well that laughter is contagious. Really, it is the goal of comedians to make a room laugh. Well, the liberator can be compared to a tarot card jester, a clown who does much more than just entertain the gallery, but who really gets the gallery laughing. And when the show is over you keep that laughter with you. It spreads out, as I said, to the ends of the universe. Noise on Mig. Elisa, the battery's finished. What? Elisa, the battery's finished. The battery of what? My batteries are full. General laughter. What are you talking about? Elisa, my microphone. Ah, you have to change the batteries. Laughter. Well, speak without a microphone. Elisa, I'll try. Laughter. And if you can't talk, laugh. Elisa, that was the last question. We don't do anything afterwards. Okay. How long have I been with you? Elisa, well it's 8-10 minutes, I don't know what time we came. Then we'll do the silence again. Don't freeze anything, let yourself be carried away by the silence and laughter. Silence. So BIDI thanks you for your participation. I wish you a good contamination by the virus of freedom, joy and laughter. BIDI greets to you and says to a future one. Goodbye, BIDI. Brothers and sisters, goodbye. Thank you BIDI. Applause. Through Jean-Luc Ayoun. Less transformations. Transcription from French. Transcriptions Father English Revised Translation. LMF. DeepL Translator.